Oh, sorry. I'm jamming out to my own jam. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel and our weekly collaboration with Lailah Lynn and Grace Report for the Real Housewives of Potomac. But before we begin, you know what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to subscribe to Grace Report and to Lailah Lynn. And don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels that talk about similar topics like Real Housewives of Potomac. All right. I see a lot of you have been waiting. We appreciate your patience. Share the live, do all the things, and welcome my guests. Grace Report's in the building.
Hey,
Lailah Lynn. Oh, damn. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Ladies. There's so much to unpack with this episode, but I want to first start off. First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to continue to do this weekly collab.
Of course. Thank you guys. Thank you. This is a highlight of every week.
Me too.
Yes.
How would you both rate this episode from 1 to 10? Just let's start there.
I normally rate high. I've usually been in the 8-9 range, but this time I have to go a little bit lower because I wish we kind of like ended this storyline already at this point. Like it just keeps getting, you know what I mean? I don't like it. I didn't like the he said, she said situation. Oh. And especially with the details that Gizelle is starting to add, that he didn't touch her. He didn't say anything inappropriate. And when she told him that she felt uncomfortable, he left immediately. So I was like, so why are we still talking about this? Why are we talking about it at all? So now I'm going to have to give it like a 6 just because of that. I'm not feeling it.
Damn, I didn't expect that, but I love that. This is why I love doing this collab, because we get a difference of opinion. Lailah, how would you rate that?
I was going to say a 7. I normally feel like for Potomac, I normally feel like 8 or above, but I was going to say a 7 because when you walk away from the episode kind of pissed off, you know what I mean? Then to me, it makes the rating go down. So I was going to say like a 7, but I can understand the 6. I can understand it.
Oh, well, you know, we are delving into a very tricky area here because, and I saw Candiace last week spoke about this, saying that, you know, she also has to navigate this in a very sensitive way because she does support women. She does support the Me Too movement, and she doesn't want to come across like, you know, insensitive to that. But it seems as if Gizelle is coming off insensitive to real women that have these issues. And I'm not saying that Gizelle wasn't uncomfortable. She could have been very much uncomfortable. But like Karen said in this episode, like, why wouldn't you bring this up to her as soon as it happened off camera? I love how we were breaking the fourth wall this episode.
And when she said, keep my fourth wall in there, guys, I crept into the Candiace fan club. At that moment, I was like, okay, this is my girl. Like, that was so good.
My girl.
Yes.
Up to our side.
I literally was saying to myself, because I talk to myself all the time when I'm thinking about these housewives. I said, I think people should be open to feeling like you don't have to be team anyone. You can literally change sides depending on the episode and depending on the season. If I had to choose a side this week or this season, I'm choosing the side of Candiace because, okay, now it's her husband when clearly there was no issue before. If I had to rate the episode, because I didn't forget, if I had to rate this episode, I would actually rate it high. You know why I would rate it high? And I'd probably rate it 8.5 because of the producers. The producers set Dr. Wendy up. At least that's what I believe. Grace, I know you believe differently, and I'll ask you your opinion. The producers countless times this episode, and it's not because I met them at BravoCon. No, producers, editors, applause to the editors.
Boo, boo.
I need to get that down.
But even with Mia, they were so good. Like, this is Chris looking at Mia.
That was good. Yes.
I have the evidence. I do have the evidence. Hold on. Let me bring up my little, you know, I spend all the time making these things, so I might as well bring them up. Yes, the Mia situation. What is that? But then it's the caption for me, Chris not looking at Mia.
And then I think the next one was Chris still not looking.
I didn't pull that one up, but This is why I had to rate it so high, because I felt like the producers finally are having Chris's back, because last season I kept on saying I felt like they were setting him up to make him look like he was a drunk. And I didn't like that. I was uncomfortable with that.
Mhm.
Okay, but let's start at the top of this episode. So we're still at this twerk it TikTok tutorial class, dance class. And of course, the last moment that we get from Gizelle and Candiace is this conversation. Gizelle saying that she felt uncomfortable at the reunion. And she's like, what are we doing? She breaks the fourth wall. She's looking for Eric, who's an executive producer. And Eric is just like, well, I have no control over what they say or do. Because she's like, you know what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
What did you, I'll start with Lailah. What did you think about in this moment that we're breaking this fourth wall?
I didn't like his immediate reaction. I understand what he meant, like he is not controlling Gizelle. I understood what he meant, but his immediate reaction seemed so defensive. And I don't feel like she was necessarily accusing him in particular. I think she was just saying, like, we're filming a TV show. Obviously, you guys have production meetings once you hear what is being said. So you've heard what is being said. You know the storyline, and I'm not here for it. So I didn't feel like he was as open as I would have expected him to be. So I was a little taken aback.
Okay. All right, Grace.
I agree. I'm Team Lailah on that. Like, it felt like he was kind of flippant about how she was feeling. Like, he knows what's going on and he's playing dumb. And I feel like that's a really easy way to piss someone off who's already pissed off. Like, you play dumb in their face. I can't stand that. And I think that Candiace did a really good job of handling all of that, because that was enough to make anybody snap.
Honestly, Candiace has matured, because normally she would go there. And I have to say, she handled that situation very maturely and literally just said, keep it all in, keep my fourth wall in, and she exits the building. Did you believe? Here's the thing that came to mind, and I want to hear your opinions. And I think we questioned this last year, Dr. Wendy Acefo and Candiace's friendship, because I always kind of felt like, is there a friendship there? But in this moment, you hear your friend going off. Do you not go and see, girl, you okay? Even when she walks out, we don't see Dr. Wendy Acefo go check on her.
Yeah. I noticed that too. And it kind of was like a red flag to me too. Like, I thought that was your friend. If it was my friend, I would go check on my friend.
It's like you hear her yelling.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was
That's a good point. I did not even think about it, but that is a very, very good point. Like, everything felt very awkward after Candiace left. Like, Gizelle, like, she knew she was wrong, and I think she was shook by the reaction and everything that happened. And so she's like, let me put on my lip gloss. I think she was upset, or, just pretending she didn't know why Candiace left. And then the girls were like, okay, well, what kind of scene are we supposed to? It was just very awkward. And I agree that what happened with I don't think she and Candiace are genuine friends. No, because Candiace would have taken up for her last year when Gizelle was going after her husband. And I think that Wendy would have had Candiace's back more this season about Gizelle doing the same thing to her.
Yeah. Do you think that Candiace has Wendy's back more than she vice versa?
As far as like last season?
Yeah. Well, if you have to think about it, that's
They don't have each other's backs, period. Didn't Candiace put her in like the back house or something like that when they rented this like house at the big house? She put Gizelle and she put Robyn in, and then she put Wendy out in the back or something like that. Like, she doesn't have her back either.
Yeah. Good point. Or is that just production? So that wasn't the only moment from this twerk it tutorial class. I don't know what to call whatever that was. It was Ashley's event. Whatever. We'll get to Ashley in a second. But there's more conversation. So Mia and Gizelle have their own sort of side conversation about Gizelle and how she approached the whole, Mia having cancer and seeking attention. And they literally, Robyn's like, okay, you guys go have a separate conversation, because Robyn is activated in this episode. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah, you could call it that. You could call it activated. Okay.
She was busy.
Activate. Okay. You can call it that.
That's the way it felt to me, because she was in everything. We'll break that down. But did you expect Dr. Wendy Acefo and Robyn to get at it? I completely forgot last season that, oh no, they got into it, and it seems as if they're not over their issues. Grace, how did you feel about their back and forth about, because Robyn kept on saying, "Oh, during the spring awakening party, you kept on saying, oh, about these two. These two are, were the ones saying that you were lying."
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the beef between Robyn and Wendy in this moment?
It felt very forced on Robyn's end. Like, we get it, Robyn, your flute is being threatened, but like, you can turn it down a couple notches. You don't have to force a conflict. I felt like she could have started off nicely asking Wendy, because at the same time, Robyn put some untruths out there about Karen that same day. She was like, "Oh, Karen, you were saying this too," when Karen was not at all saying things the same way that she and Gizelle were. Yeah. And then for her to get up and kind of charge towards Wendy as well, and just the stuff she does with the children, like, it wasn't a good look for Robyn. And I was really liking her the prior episodes, but she was looking very desperate for a moment.
Yeah. And I like what Bridget says here, because I literally, when they play it back, Wendy did not say what Robyn was saying. Lailah, what was your reaction to this fight that we didn't see coming in this scene?
I feel like Robyn was very like passive aggressive. Like, she was aggressive, literally charging towards Wendy, which was so extra. It was so unnecessary. Like, I didn't appreciate that at all. I feel like that's like the third time we've seen Robyn and her aggressiveness.
Yes.
Like, she charges the women on this show, and I don't appreciate that. And then we saw her being passive with not inviting Wendy's kids to her little family day event, which I felt was so petty. I felt like that was so petty to talk about the event in front of Wendy and then not invite her kids.
That's the second time they've done that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Say it again, Grace.
It's the second time they've done that to Wendy in particular?
Yeah. Last season, they were doing stuff like that. I was just like, why bring it up in front of her?
Yeah, it's so rude. It's so rude and so petty.
But at the same time, can we at least applaud Robyn? Not me defending Robyn. Can we at least applaud Robyn for being real in that moment? Because in real life, if you just got into an argument with someone, are you really inviting them and their children to your get-together, your play date? Lailah asked you because you are a mom.
Yeah. I would not announce the play date at that moment.
Okay.
I'm not saying I would invite her, but I might even text everybody. Like, I wouldn't invite everybody in front of her. You know what I mean? And then her kids are getting older to where they might watch the show and see that they weren't invited, and then their little feelings be hurt. Like, that's too much for me. Well, you know.
It was an awkward moment. It was definitely an awkward moment. How are we feeling now about this damn Ashley and her divorce situation?
Ooh, she's looking really crazy right about now. Like, it turned out that Michael lied about them needing to stay married for the loan to go through. He's having secret conversations with the realtor and stuff. Like, Ashley really needs to hire her own lawyer, her own realtor, and protect herself, because it's not looking good for her.
Yeah. I had to mention that part just because I'm thinking of Ashley in this. This is her event. But I just had to think about that. I just had to bring that up. We'll explore that a little bit more deeply. But Lailah, you're going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that's what Uncle Lump tried to tell her. Like, get your own lawyer.
We know you love Uncle Lump.
I do. I feel like he has good advice. I feel like he has her best interest at heart. I like seeing her with her brother too. I like seeing her family.
Right. Okay. I want to get to these super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We appreciate you supporting the channel any way that you can, but watching, viewing, sharing the live, following all of us helps support all of us. Okay. All right. Let me just say thank you. Judgy Justice, thank you so much for the super chat. Judgy Justice says, Gizelle and Eric were trying to get Candiace to blow up. And then Gizelle lies to the group talking about her tummy hurt. Thank you, Judgy Justice, for the super chat. Tiff, thank you for the super chat. Tiff says nobody ran after Candy when she stormed out. Right? No one did. So it's definitely none of these people are friends.
Did she storm out though? Because the choice of words, when they keep saying she stormed out, and then you see her, walk out.
Just walking casually.
Yeah. But, so I feel like sometimes they put something on Candiace that is not there.
I still, at least in that moment, see that she's leaving a scene, leaving work. And I've been like, she's not storming out, but I still would have went, Candiace, everything good? Because I heard you, speaking loudly to the producer back over, because everyone kept on saying, is everything okay? Is everything okay? You didn't check on her when she left, though.
Right.
That was weird. I just wanted to point it out. Julie, thank you so much for the super chat. Julie says, we'll be part of the replay crew. Love your recap. Rated a 6. Okay. All right. I'm always interested.
I thought you meant your cap.
Oh.
Your candy corn.
Tis the season, y'all. Tis the season. All right. It's about to be really tis the season. Christmas is right around the corner. All right. We'll move on from that conversation. But before we actually do move on from that conversation, we have a hot mic moment with Dr. Wendy Asefo. And I think personally that it was a not pre-produced. I think it was a producer setup. Lailah, what do you think?
I think so too, because I think the producer knew Wendy had her mic on. So I think she wanted to get a candid moment, like let's get Wendy's real feelings.
Because Wendy, during her conversation with Robyn, kept on saying, I don't believe that she lied, that Mia lied. But I think she was saying the politically correct thing, because that hot mic moment, she reveals, we all know that Mia's lying.
But I also think that's okay. I also think it's okay to be politically correct on camera. I think it's okay for her to not call Mia a liar on camera, even if she really thinks she's a liar. Even though it's reality TV.
You did.
I was working with that one.
Sorry.
I was you said Grace.
I'm sorry. I'm like, y'all know I love a sound effect. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think it was a setup, but I think what Wendy was doing was okay. You know, not calling her out on camera. I'm okay with that.
Grace, and how did you feel about that moment?
I felt like, it was a setup, but at the same time, I feel like Wendy knew what it was. She knew what time it was, and she wanted to get her real feelings out there while pretending that she didn't know her mic was still on. She knew.
So she caught it. She caught it.
Yeah. She's like, all right, I'll play game.
Yeah.
So quickly from that particular moment, I wondered, like, I really do wonder if that was a producer setting her up in that moment, because I just thought it was an interesting question to ask her off camera, and then all of a sudden we have it pulled in. These producers are slick. They're not as innocent as people try to make them out to be.
I love it.
And producers, I know why you told me what you told me at BravoCon.
What did they tell you, Kempire?
About a new show that's coming. Because they know I'm going to mention it. A new show, a new spinoff is coming to BravoCon for us.
Oh,
And
really?
I want to know more.
Me too. They wouldn't give me much more. Damn it. But I'm getting my details. I'm getting my details. Stay tuned, y'all.
Okay. The exclusive.
Immediately from this particular scene with the group of ladies having their side conversation and Dr. Wendy not being invited in her hot mic moment, we go to Candiace at home doing her IVF treatment, the needles by herself. And I have to say, based on what I've seen on reality TV, what I've heard from other people, usually you do have like your partner or someone there helping you. And she has a nurse on FaceTime helping her because Chris is working. Grace, how did you feel about this? Did you feel for your girl Candiace in this moment? Because I know you're your girl now.
I did. She's my new girl. And I did feel for her. And I felt sad that she had to do that alone. I would feel really sad if I had to do that alone. Like,
and scared.
This is like a thing we're doing for, pardon?
And scared.
Yeah, and like scared and like just go squeamish about it. It's like she's doing that for not only herself, but for him and like the future of their family. So I would like to do something like that, like together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, feel sad.
Lailah?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like sometimes I feel like you have to put your foot down. Like as far as, you know, I guess you would say wifehood, motherhood, you have to put your foot down. And I feel like that's a moment to where if you want to do it together, I feel like you have to kind of like set a standard and say, well, I'm not doing this treatment if you're not here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you want him, and she says she wants him to be active in the child's life. She doesn't want to be like a single married mom. So I feel like that's a moment where she might not realize it now, but I feel like that's headed in the wrong direction. Doing the fertility stuff by yourself is it's headed the wrong way. I would have put my foot down. Like,
but she did know that this is where their lives are at currently in regards to the hours that he's working, and she's literally moving forward with it regardless. And we find out later that the process is not moving at the pace that the doctors would like, and it really does bother her. Replay crew, those of you that have your own personal stories, we love hearing that in the comment section because it educates me, and I'm sure for you ladies as well that haven't necessarily shared that same journey. It's just like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. So I'm definitely interested to hear what the ladies have to say, and the men, because I'm sure if you've been through the journey with your wife, you have your thoughts about it too. Like, well, sometimes people got to work. Okay, I don't know. All right. Let me just say thank you. Got a couple more super chats. Fifi, thank you so much for the super chat. Fifi says, Dr. Wendy herself 4 degrees does no wrong. Okay. And if you're new to the channel, we welcome everyone's opinions. There's no teams. If anyone, you should be team yourself, team Kempire, team Grace Report, or team Lailah. That's all. Okay. Sashay, thank you so much for the super chat. Sashay Shantae says, weird that Wendy had just argued with Robyn.
Yes.
But the production's first question was about me. That's why I was just sort of like, why? They set her up.
Yeah.
They set her up. And she fell for it. All right. Bar, we do this. How are you ladies feeling about the cast as it is right now? Charisse is there. How are you feeling about Dr. Wendy Acefo? This is her 3rd season being a part. Like, how are you feeling about the ladies?
Are you not feeling Charisse, Grace?
Yeah. Her. She's so desperate. Like, she's so thirsty and desperate for a moment. Not feeling her. Ashley, I feel like she hasn't been that like useful to like the plots for a while now, like 2-3 seasons now. Not feeling her either. Gizelle, she's just getting lower and lower. I didn't even know it was possible to keep going lower, but she keeps doing it. So far, the only person I really love, same as every season, is Karen. She just makes my day. That's it. I love her so much.
Okay, Lailah?
For the most part, I like the cast. I don't like Gizelle. I would love to see the cast actually without Gizelle and possibly without Robyn, if Robyn doesn't, get more of a spine. But also Wendy. I love Candiace on the show, but you know how they kind of have like almost like teams, like groups of best friends. I don't see where, like we were saying, Wendy and Candiace don't actually seem to be friends. And Wendy's storyline, I don't see where it's fitting in yet with the other girls. Like there doesn't seem to be a connection at this point.
And it's a little awkward with Dr. Wendy Acefo. Still, there's always been this awkwardness with her from her first season, and I feel like it's just not connecting with the audience. But I'm holding out hope. I'm a clear conscience with the whole Dr. Wendy situation, but I don't know. Speaking of Karen, Grace's favorite, who I love, like I love her too. We get this little moment with Karen and Ray, who I have to say, since last season, he really has been a level of comic relief along with Karen. So I'm loving this. This scene, though, was kind of weird because I don't think we really have much with Karen this season besides her being activated in everyone else's situation. How did you ladies feel about this scene where Karen basically confirms that she's allowed to have eye candy? And I'm
but
like,
why do you need permission for eye candy?
Right?
If it's eye candy, you just looking. So why do you need permission?
I think that's what they want us to think, that maybe it's more than just eye candy. There have been rumors.
Yeah.
Blue eyes.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. I think with Charisse being so thirsty to get a scene with Karen's worrying about what types of scenes she's filming with thirsty Robyn about Karen's marriage. And so she's like, you know what? I'm going to get out ahead of this because these two girls have nothing to do but to talk about me and my marriage. So let's have this here to clear it up in case it comes up. It felt like an insurance scene.
Okay. Oh, all right. Insurance scene. I mean, that's the biggest thing that stood out to me in that particular scene. I was just like, wait, I had to replay it back. I was like, well, according to Ray, he says, as long as it stays candy. What does that mean, Ray?
And I don't know. Because candy you put in your mouth. You know what I mean?
Not the mouth.
To be candy. I thought he was going to emphasize. I thought he was going to say, like, as long as it's just your eyes. I thought he was going to say that, not the candy part.
Maybe that's what he meant. He said, as long as it's just the candy. You're probably going to have to revisit that conversation later in the season because it's not over between, there have been rumors. Sorry, Karen, we got to talk about it. There have been rumors that both of them have been outside the marriage. Allegedly. We don't have any solid information. Look, don't look at me like that. Like, I ain't hear this rumor.
I didn't hear Ray.
Yes, Ray too. Allegedly.
Okay. Okay, Ray.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll move on from this scene because there's just so much more to unpack in regards to the congratulations to Robyn and her new house. Come on. Because they literally show the foreclosed home to the townhouse, and then now this big beautiful home where she's the only person's name on it and not Juan. I'm so glad that Juan Dixon is here right now, though. Okay. Juan and Robyn have a conversation about this prenup. We talked a little bit about it last week, and we shared our opinions on prenups and things like that. So she brings up this conversation, this awkward conversation with him, but he seems to be okay with signing a prenup. But he does bring up how she originally reacted to the prenup, which conflicts to what she initially told us. Us, what she told us in regards to prenup.
Right.
And also conflicts when he says, I make more money than you do. And the producer brings it up like, oh, he didn't say that. He says, I'm going to make more money than you do. No, he says, I make more money than you do.
That's not what I heard.
What did you, okay, Lailah, what did you hear?
I heard I'ma, as in IMMA.
Okay.
I'ma make more money, as in the future. That's what I heard.
Okay. All right, Grace, what did you hear?
I heard the same thing. He felt a little ambitious over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the producer heard differently as well?
I think the producers are, you met them. Are they white? Like, would they understand like the slang there?
They are not white.
Oh, well, maybe they don't understand the slang. I don't know.
She said, "Are they white?" No, it's a good question. It is a very good question because it makes you think, because there are little slang things that people wouldn't pick up.
Yeah.
However, no, there are quite a few Black producers on the RHOP. I mean, I'll go back and look. Okay. How are you feeling, though, about this conversation? We'll start with Grace, because Grace, I know you have thoughts. How are you feeling about the prenup conversation and the conversation where she literally says, well, when we were divorcing, there was this other woman. Did you peep that part?
I did. I was like, yes, finally we get to talk about her. That was the love of his life. That was the girl he was doing like interviews about. Like, he brought her to Greece when he was playing basketball. That's what he does, right? He was playing basketball in Greece. She came with her kids and stuff. They were doing interviews about like their love. So yeah, like that was quite interesting. But listen, Robyn has a lot of nerve asking for a prenup after she lost all that man's money. I would feel like I owe you for life at that point. If I lost your millions, here, we're going to go in and just do 50-50 if it doesn't work out. I mean, come on. She lost a lot of money. They went broke. They went foreclosed because of this woman.
Yeah.
Are we putting this all on Robyn?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It was her friend. It was her friend. She gave the money to her friend. Yeah. Her friend hustled her. So yeah. Unfortunately, we're not gladly putting it on Robyn. Yeah. Unfortunately, Robyn made that choice. So yeah. I was surprised by that prenup too, that she doesn't want to go 50-50 with him after everything that happened between them. And I would feel like, okay, if you're really going to take a second chance on this and really get married, I would think that you're really locked in there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get divorced. So, I'm surprised at Robyn, but I was laughing when she brought up that other woman and Juan got mad.
Yeah, but that was the part, his reaction. I was just like, whoa, are we going to have one of those same, you remember the last season we had that reaction where he literally left.
Yeah. But you have to think about it. Like, her bringing up his ex-girlfriend or whatever, like husbands, they hate when you bring up their girlfriend, first of all. So she knows he's going to get pissed off. Last season, when she was bringing up him not helping with the kids, it's like, he's going to get pissed off. So it's almost like she's like taunting him, like doing it on purpose.
Well, she's also the breadwinner, and this show is very important. It's very important.
Yeah, it is. That is
that's
true.
Why I believe she's truly activated this season.
Yeah. I love that word, activated.
I mean, she really is definitely activated this season. But I thought the conversation was definitely interesting. But it seemed as if Juan was okay with a prenup, because are they really going to get married? We're going to continue to ask that question. Grace Report, do you think that they're going to get married?
Nope. They're not marrying nothing.
Do you think that he lives with them, or he lives in a different part of the house?
I don't know. We haven't seen their bed this season. I remember last season, Kempire, you pointed out how she gets out of bed and the other side was crisp, like no one has ever slept in it.
I'm just saying.
Maybe in the basement or the pool house. I don't know.
Okay, we didn't talk about the house though. The house is gorgeous. Congratulations, Robyn. That's a gorgeous home.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Lailah, do you think that they're going to get married?
I kind of hope not. I hope not, because it seemed like the last time, I think it might have been a producer that asked her, is she going to get married to Juan? And she said, I feel like we should get married. And that word should gave me pause. Like when you're doing something that you feel like you should do, that makes me feel like, okay, but do you want to do this? So the fact that she said should made me feel like, okay, maybe just take a step back. You don't have to get married. Like, you're a grown woman. You don't have to get married.
Yeah, but like I said, last season, I told you, rumor on the street, producers had told Robyn she either had to get married or have a baby. I don't know what they told her this season, but it seems as if this season she knows that her job is on the line, because so many of the fans have been saying countless times, Robyn's boring. Robyn's not bringing anything, at least in the last couple of seasons. But this season, Robyn is getting into everyone's mess, especially this episode. Before we move on, though, guys, we have over almost 2,000 people here for our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to Grace Report and Lailah Lynn's channel. We do this every single Monday for the Real Housewives of Potomac recaps, 1 p.m. Eastern every single Monday. So you have to be subscribed to all of our channels so you don't miss out on those recaps. Don't forget to like the video as well. Liking the video supports not just my channel, but other channels like that look like us will start to show up on your algorithm. So it's important to like the video and it's important to subscribe. Okay. Let me just say thank you. Obi, thank you so much for the super chat. Obi says, I will say, if you're going to be politically correct, don't get on reality TV. That hot mic moment was a bad look on Dr. Wendy. Really? Was it that bad of a look? Do you guys think that was a bad look for her?
Not awful.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that bad. Yeah. I think she was saying what a lot of people were saying.
Yeah.
Aaron, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, I'm not feeling Charisse. I think she's being pushed by Robyn and Gizelle. Oh, Karen doesn't have to be in scene with the ladies and she's still entertaining.
True.
Mia lies too much. Her and Gizelle do too much.
Agreed.
No lies told in that situation right there.
Exactly.
Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Wendy is so fake to me. I think that's my issue with Wendy. I don't feel like she's showing up authentically. And I think that's why I'm sort of like, I'm not.
Maybe that's the disconnect that we're seeing this season. I also feel like her scenes, like the doctor scene, I feel like these are being filmed after I don't know if she fainted or what happened to her, but I feel like they're being filmed out of order, and they're trying to explain how we get to the point where Wendy is falling out from exhaustion.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. They've been caught out there in regards to filming out of order. Okay. Tamara, thank you so much for another super chat. She says, I'm gonna make is what Juan said. I caught that, and I am from Canada. Robyn doesn't have nerve. Ooh, Juan asked for one first. Ooh, all right. Okay. Well, I mean, apparently other people feel that's exactly what it said. Do you think that he will make more than Robyn at some point?
No.
Oh, damn.
And that's okay, you know.
Right. The Boston Celtics are looking for a new head coach.
Oh, well.
Oh, wait. See, you guys aren't sportsnistas. I only said that facetiously because that is Nia Long's
right. We know that part.
Oh my God, that was slick. I didn't even catch it.
I caught it. I just don't think Juan is on that level, but I could be wrong. I don't think he's on that level.
In high school or something. That's why I'm saying I don't see it. And he's not on social media. He could do build like a coaching influencing ship or something like that. And he's not taking advantage of the platform. So that's why I don't see it.
He did have something, because I used to see Robyn there. He did have some type of program. He was on social media before the situation we talked about last week. He deleted his social media, but he did have some type of coaching program going on. But I don't know if he abandoned it, you know.
Because you brought up Dr. Wendy Asefo and the hair loss situation, I've heard of this before, especially women that have had children And I couldn't wait to speak with you ladies about this. If you had any idea, if you had friends that had similar experiences, because we have Dr. Wendy Acefo in this moment talking about hair loss after having her last child. I'll start with you, Grace Report. What was your reaction to that scene?
I thought it was so brave of her to open up about it and like really let us like see into her scalp and everything.
Oh my gosh,
it's very
right?
educational as well. And it's so common. I know my sister suffered from that as well, and other reality stars have spoken about it. Yeah.
Lailah?
Yeah, it's very common. I hate to say expected, but I will say it's very common. I've had it. Some of my friends have had it real bad, and it is something where you would need, in a lot of cases, medical treatment to reverse it.
Wow.
But then, like the doctor said, if the treatment makes you grow facial hair, you know.
I was thinking about getting it for myself. I was like, oh, hell, wait. I didn't go to the doctor for it, but I was like, maybe I should. It's stressed because I think that is her storyline this season. Her storyline, Dr. Wendy Acefo's storyline, is that she is working too much, doing too much, and now she wants to add on a restaurant. And she thinks just because she's only 20% owner that it doesn't involve her being that involved. I'm just like, it's still your money. It's still 20% of your money. Like, what do you think her storyline is this season?
It is stress. I think that's right. It is stress. And I hate to see, people stressed out or whatever, but I do feel like with the, the Nigerian lounge, I feel like it's a great idea. And I feel like her partnering with people is a great idea too. And one of the people I look up to is like Candy from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I noticed in her bigger businesses, it's always a partnership. Like her music is a partnership. Even the Bedroom Candy, I don't know if it still is, but it started off as a partnership. And I've always felt like one of the keys to success is hooking up with the right people. So I feel like in a way she's doing the right thing, like not trying to do everything herself. But I guess apparently it's still, too much on her plate.
Yeah.
You said hooking up with the right people, and she's hooking up with Peter Thomas.
You know what? Look, y'all gonna have me defending Peter Thomas again this week. I do not want to do it, okay? But I will do it for my Jamaican brethren, okay? All right.
We've been doing better lately, right?
Right. I mean, there's multiple restaurants open right now at the same time. Yeah. All right. Let me just say thank you. We got quite a few super chats that I want to get to. Florence, thank you so much for the super chat. Florence says,
"Oh, I love that."
Remember Gizelle's daddy and his hot mic moment? Oh my God, remember that?
7 or 8 baby mamas.
And then we were so shocked when she decided to bring Jamal back as her storyline. We were like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tina, thank you for the super chat. Tina says, Ashley makes no sense to be getting a divorce but buying a house with Michael. Wendy needs to go somewhere else. Yeah, can we talk about that particular scene? So we get a scene with Ashley looking at another house. Apparently she's, tried and put in an offer from multiple other houses, and they've fallen through because these other people are offering all cash, but Michael does not want to offer all cash. Michael is the brains in this entire situation and manipulating this entire situation. On Watch What Happens Live, Ashley literally said, because everyone has been putting out the narrative that Ashley's going to get half. She's, her prenup is null and void at this point. No, she says there are stipulations in this prenup that she did not realize. How did you ladies feel about this whole situation with Ashley house hunting, breaking down with her brother, I guess this is the realtor that works with Michael on a variety of different projects, literally says to her and reveals to her that Michael is fully aware and has let her be aware that they're divorcing. And Ashley seems blindsided that she doesn't know any of these details. Grace, I'll start with you.
I don't know. Honestly, like I felt like she really looked clueless and sad about it. Like she finally realized that like she got screwed over, and I think it's like the saying goes, if you marry for money, which she, in my opinion, very obviously did, you will earn every penny. You can never, especially if you go for someone like way too old for you the way that she did, he will always be like 10 steps ahead of you. And I think that she's a good illustration of that, because unfortunately, especially on social media these days with Instagram and TikTok, you have a lot of these girls trying to tell young girls, go find yourself a rich older man or do this or that. And they think it's this, glorious, wonderful thing. But No, 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times you're going to get played, and you're going to end up like this. And it's sad. It really is. I think she's realizing like, oh my God, I did not think this through.
Damn.
Yeah.
Lailah?
I feel like she deserves it though. I feel like she did think that she was somehow going to trick Michael into half of his money. Like she's doing this, she's marrying him, she's doing this prenup, and then after 5 years, when the stipulations changed, something changed after 5 years, and she thought she could get half. But I really think he's running circles around her, where she thought she was going to trick him. Like he's a real estate mogul. Like you're not going to trick him. You know what I mean? Like I hate to say you are the trick, but you know what I'm saying? Like you're not dumb. You know what I mean? Just like same thing with me and G. G is not dumb. And I feel like Michael is running circles around her, and the real estate person, it almost sounded like a babysitter. Like when she was like, yeah, told me everything. I have everything I need to help you. It was like, damn, okay, this lady, she's helping Ashley, but at the same time, it's almost like she's babysitting Ashley. She has her orders from Michael on what to do. And it's sad to see, but it's the bed she made. Because like you said, when you marry for money, this is what happens. This is what happens. And in my mind, just from a state of, you want peace. And I feel like it's never worth it. Like when you marry for money, you're paying with your peace. You're sacrificing your peace. And it's never going to be worth it.
And true happiness.
Yeah. I'd rather be like low-key poor and happy than be rich and so unhappy, like miserable.
Yeah. And here's
Not
the thing.
that you have to choose. Not that you have to choose.
Ashley's in a good place. I mean, they're making a decent check on Potomac. They're not making what some of the housewives from yesteryear are making, but they're making a good amount of money. And I'm sure at this point they're making even more. So she's doing quite well for herself. She doesn't necessarily need Michael's money at this point in her life, but she did at some point. And it seems as if she might be thinking that she was outsmarting him, but she really didn't.
Yeah. And I believe her when someone asked her how much money would she need to live a comfortable life, and she said she doesn't know. I believe her. I believe she doesn't have a concept of money in that way to know exactly how much she would need to live the type of life that she wants to lead.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of her trepidation when she's, you saw her having second thoughts, like, am I doing the right thing? I think that's part of it. She is not independent.
Yeah.
Let me say thank you. We got quite a few super chats backstage. Let me say, hi Vibe. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hi Vibe says, hopefully Robyn won't marry Juan. I would like to see her come back financially and grow her business. Her new home is just the beginning, hopefully. I agree. And we've been saying that. So don't be surprised next season. That's what we get from Robyn. We get Robyn literally going it on her own. We find out she's not going to marry Juan Dixon. Because I just feel as if this season she's setting us up. We see maybe a crack in the Green Bandit situation, which we'll talk about in just a second. Nia, thank you so much for another super chat. Nia says, no, he's coaching a D1 college. Damn. It's a very good school. Since he is a retired basketball player, he could use his connects to get to that point. It's all about networking, and the show could help. Are you, Juan? I know you're watching. Just saying. Erica, thank you so much for the super chat. Erica says Juan had a great NBA career and possible to join NBA coaching staff, hence making more money. Okay, all right, y'all know we're not about the sports. Okay,
y'all have a lot of faith in Juan. A lot of faith in these comments.
I mean, he is DMV royalty. Okay, that's what people have told me. He is DMV royalty.
How old is Juan? Because I feel like Juan is late 40s to where he wouldn't want to start doing something super intensive, right? Isn't this when you're kind of starting to wind down a bit, want to spend more, you know what I mean? More time.
How dare you?
Right? Like, I don't know. Like people are acting like he's like 25 or 30 or something, like just starting on his career. It's like, I don't know.
Melinda, thank you so much for the super chat. Melinda says, why do I feel like Michael went broke and doesn't want to tell Ashley?
Spicy.
Do you guys think he went broke? I don't think he went broke.
But I think if he did go broke, he might not tell Ashley.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't tell. He definitely wouldn't tell Ashley if he went broke. Come on. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Juan and Michael are about to be in these streets. They talked about that during BravoCon, and they literally said that Juan and Michael don't hang out like that. I'm like, okay. Well, they seem to be on different pages. Ashley and Robyn seem to be on different pages on the level of friendship that Juan and Michael share. Allie, thank you so much for the super chat. Allie says, Ashley needs to call Sutton about the forensic team. You really, oh my gosh, I wonder if they spoke at all during the weekend. That'd be the perfect person to speak about when it comes to a divorce attorney and how to plot and plan this divorce. That's what I'm going to talk about during my first divorce. I'm joking. I'm kidding. He's the love of my life. I'm joking. Okay. Julia, thank you so much for the super chat. Julia says, Ashley is a regular on DC Fox 5. She's getting another check there too. DJ is always on. DJ Richie is always on as well. Okay. All right. Let me ask DJ Richie if how much is that check? No. Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat. I'd love to see all of you together. Well, stay tuned every single Monday on our channels, guys. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the description so you can follow and subscribe to Grace Report and Lailah Lynn as well. We'll be on Grace Report's channel next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. PST. Remember all this stuff in my head. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Judgy Justice, thank you so much for another super chat. She says, Ashley sold her happiness to a hobbit. Ashley needs his money at this show. She will disappear into obscurity until Bravo brings her back out and dusts her off like they did Sharif. Damn, Judgy Justice. Wow. I didn't expect that. Okay. Thank you so much, Erica, for another super chat. Erica says University, Maryland National Championships in the 90s. All right. I'm telling you, people ride hard for Juan Dixon.
They really do.
I don't know why, but okay.
Are they his other girlfriends?
Anyone else? Oh. Did you guys notice that Juan looked a little tired?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. He looked a little tired. I mean, it could have just been the day. Maybe he wasn't expecting to film. But he looked a little tired.
He had to drive all the way there from his actual house and film immediately. She didn't offer him a coffee.
All right, we're gonna move on just because we can talk about these housewives for hours, literally. Especially, I feel like this is. Do you guys maybe you disagree with me? That's fine. I feel like this has been their best episode so far this season. I know it's only episode 3. I feel like this was their best episode so far.
I like last episode. Okay. I really like last episode. Yeah, I like that dance class. That was funny to me. I love it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like it's getting better and better. At least. Well, and not in regards to the whole Candiace situation. All right, we're gonna have to go back.
Let's get worse.
Let's go back to that because we get 2 separate scenes. We get Karen and Gizelle, the frenemies, hanging out at Karen's home. Sidebar: Karen, you told Gizelle to take her shoes off, but your shoes were still on.
I love that.
They were her inside stilettos.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe she's never worn them out. You know.
Or maybe she was setting Gizelle up. Maybe, I don't know. We get this scene with her, and then we get another scene with Candiace, Chris, and we get a whole confessional moment with Chris explaining his side of things. And Robyn joins them a little bit later. I want to just backtrack to what they're saying on social media because I prepare. So first of all, I'm so worried for her eyes. And I know at this point she leans into doing these moments with the handkerchiefs and the tissues, but I'm very worried for her eyes. Anyone else? Or is it just me?
Me too.
What, like she's gonna poke herself?
Yeah, like especially you're out in public and you're using one of those handkerchiefs. I don't know about that. But that's just me. So we get that moment, but Candiace, before the episode aired, addressed her reaction to the whole situation that's playing out this season. And she said this. She says, season 8, I'm just about to start. And this is the next season because we're in season 7. I'm just about to start lying. I'm just going to start saying whatever fairy tale fallacies come to the top of my dome, since apparently that's what this show has come to. Bitches are so devoid of lives that they will flat out lie to keep their check. She wasn't done.
It's the truth.
Yep.
She wasn't done. Last night, she had a reaction to everything that was playing out. She then says, Word to the wise, when embarking on an egg freezing journey, don't do it while shooting a show with desperately poor, unfortunate souls who will cry sexual for ratings. That was some of the hardest terrain I have ever climbed. Realizing outside factors would derail my journey. I mean, that's another part that we're not thinking about. You know, hormones and things like that's happening with her right now. And she's really controlling herself. I'm okay. Oh, look. Good girl. I'm very, very impressed. Very, very impressed. So we have these two separate conversations between Karen and Gizelle, and of course, Candiace and Chris. I want to know the ladies' reaction to how Karen navigated the conversation with Gizelle, asking her the questions about the issues that she apparently has with Chris. I'll start with you, Lailah.
Well, I feel like Karen is the master navigator. Like she, what do you say, twerks on the fence like no other.
Yes.
Yes, she was doing it. I felt like with Gizelle, like she was able to kind of like, you know, she was walking with Gizelle through the situation, but then she was able to ask the right questions. Like, how do we jump from here to here? First, you're just in your room. Now it's he said, she said. And she was reminded Gizelle that, you know, Chris is our friend, kind of like trying to bring her to reality. So I thought she did very good in that situation. And then she also gave Gizelle another storyline because she was like, okay, so Robyn told your story to the group without your permission. So she, you know, gave Gizelle something to go with. Like, you know, you don't have to do that storyline with Chris. You could do this one. So I appreciated Mother Karen in that moment. I loved it. I always love Karen. I do.
Grace?
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you. I think she showed why she is the queen, why she is the grande dame of the group, because she handled the accusations so well by validating, saying, listen, only you know how you felt. And so if you felt that way, then okay, I will give you that. But if you truly feel this way or however way you feel, why didn't you talk to them outside of the camera? And then she talked about her own experience with a husband in the group. And she's like, I know this person and he wouldn't do this to hurt me or whatever anyway. So I took this off camera. And when the producer asked her to name names, she wouldn't do it because she's not like Gizelle. She doesn't look to destroy people. And I thought it was beautiful. Like, I love her so much. Oh.
All right, ladies, who do you think it is? Wait, who
do you think it is?
Gia. Oh, but how many years ago did it happen?
3. She said 3
years ago. So that's 2019, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. G wasn't there. Who do you think? Everyone has jumped to Michael Darby. No, I don't think it was Michael Darby. I definitely don't think it was Michael Darby.
I can't think of anyone else it would be. It would not be Chris.
Unless they filmed, because of the pandemic, unless they did film part of last season in 2019, because G jumps to my head too, but I don't want to put anything on him either. I don't want to put anything on anybody, but he is the only one that kind of jumped to my mind that would be squeezing Karen like that. Because it seemed like he had a little crush on Karen last season.
Yeah. And he was licking his lips at her and like all this weird stuff.
Yeah. I remember that.
And I remember feeling like they filmed this show like way far like in the past. Because I remember one time, it might have been 2019 I was watching, but Candiace's, the sticker on her car said like 2017. And I was like, wow, 2 years? Yeah, it was really
all the little stuff.
Yeah, I noticed stuff like that. So
I love that.
I'm not going to throw G out of the equation.
Well, one of the consistent people that I see a lot of people throwing out there is Monique's husband. Did we talk about the Monique situation last week? I don't remember if we did or not. Monique, I don't think so.
Well, the fake divorce thing?
How are you ladies a week later feeling about, after seeing, I don't know if you've seen it, Monique's live that she did with Chris saying that we're not getting a divorce, People Magazine is lying, but Ashley literally said during BravoCon that no, she told me that they're separated. Lailah?
Yeah. I do believe they separated. When she was saying they went to live, they have like 4 homes, you know, we know that. And one went to live in one home and the other lived in the other home. I think that was like a precursor. It was kind of like a trial separation. Yeah, I think about that.
Okay. Grace?
I think Monique put these stories out about herself. She told Ashley about this stuff just ahead of BravoCon, knowing that she would blab about it, probably even encouraging it, like, hey, listen, you've got my blessing, blah, 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 to hint about it. And then People Magazine, they don't just like write whatever. They're usually collaborating with people's reps and validating stories. So I do believe that Monique and Chris, or one of them, initially confirmed. And then later they try to backtrack or whatever. It's for attention. I didn't like the way that she went on Instagram. And I love Monique, and I think she's like so freaking beautiful and everything.
Oh my God.
But I didn't like the way she went on Instagram and she was like, oh, Chris, what do you think about these rumors? Shot Mila Eve or whatever that thing is called. Like, it was just so tacky. The immediate YouTube, it all just seems planned, and I don't like it. I don't believe it for a second.
Okay. All right. And we're gonna get back to this. Let me just say thank you, Tiff. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tiff says, Robyn stressing poor Juan out. It's her fault. Come on. Jay.
He had to bring up his girlfriend. She had to do that.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Jay says, this isn't their best episode. This was Robyn's best episode ever. I'm surprised we got this much out of Robyn dominated episode this season. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tamara, thank you so much. She said, it is G. But they weren't filming with G 3 years ago. I
think they were. I think they were.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Everything's alleged.
Yeah.
Just saying. Ja, thank you so much for the super chat. Ja says there are different levels to D1 school. Not us schooling us on this stuff. All right, D1 schools. They're the top tier levels and the mid majors. Coppin State is mid major with a subpar record. He's making 6 figures, but nowhere near 7 figures like the big schools. I mean, 6 figures, that's nothing to scoff at either. Just saying. High Vibe, thank you so much for the super chat. High Vibe says, I feel like the girls are tired of not turkey necks, antics. Maybe Jizzy will be forced to have her own real storyline. All right. This reminded me of this moment. What did you guys think? This happened at the top of the episode because Candiace was done with Gizelle. And everyone's going to be out there saying, oh, this is, body shaming and all of that. What was your reaction to when she said this?
I was laughing.
Say it again?
I was laughing. I thought it was funny.
It's true. She ate, I fear. Yeah, she looks so good, by the way. Oh my God, look how toned she is. Oh my God.
Yes. I love that look. Yes.
Okay. So backtracking for you guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly collab that we do with Grace Report and Lailah Lynn on our various channels. This week, it's my channel. If you're part of the replay crew, as always, we want to hear your thoughts, how you would rate this episode, where you're watching from, your thoughts on our opinions. But as always, we don't moderate adults, so be kind. All right. Or be constructive. You don't have to be kind. Just be constructive. Don't be nasty and hateful. Come on now. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section, as always. And a reminder, guys, and I'm sure Grace and Lailah, you probably had this experience as well on YouTube. A lot of fake accounts pretending to be you in the comment section.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that. Just a reminder, guys, any contest, any things like that, you'll always see a verified check by our names. So just keep that in mind. Don't engage with those comments. We're trying to keep up on them and delete them and ban them. But literally, I'll have multiple Kempires show up in the comment section during the week. Just a reminder in regards to that. And a reminder, be sure to subscribe and follow Grace and Lailah. All their links are available in the description of this episode. All right, let's just talk about what's been happening on social media. So Chris has tweeted because he's frustrated with the way the storyline is playing out this season. And literally, this is what he says. He says, I am now fully convinced these women were bored as F, got nothing going on, and just had to make up some BS. In no way do I believe production had anything to do with this. Just some miserable ass women on their own. Okay, so that leads to Robyn and Mia. There's so much to unpack with this episode. Robyn and Mia had their own sort of conversation about what's been going on in regards to Mia's social media, in regards to her cancer and things like that. She says she literally has a lump on her butt. Do you want to see it?
But you know what? I like that she asked Robyn that, because Robyn all in her business. Like, we know Mia said what she said, but Robyn to me was doing too much in that meeting. Like, she was basically asking her medical diagnosis, like trying to get her medical information. So I kind of like that Mia was like, yeah, it's on my butt. You want to see it? I can show you. I like that.
Well, Robyn also pointed out some inaccuracies of what Mia has been saying on social media versus what she tells the group. Grace, what was your reaction to that conversation?
I was on the same page as Lailah. Like, she was just doing too much. Like, she was being very invasive, and it's not real concern. I don't believe that Robyn cares one way or the other. Robyn just wants to catch her in a lie because she thinks that she's lying.
Yeah.
And Mia did a good job handling her. She's like, listen, Robyn, you're asking me about things I posted 3 weeks ago. Obviously, between 3 weeks and now, I've seen the doctor again and I've done X, Y, or Z. And I think that Robyn really tried to trip her up, but I felt like Mia had answers for everything. And it just like, let it go. She's like a dog with a bone on this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Mia, though, is now auditioning to be part of the Green Eyed Bandits who doesn't have green eyes. Because literally in this conversation, Mia says, well, I have a story too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I hate
what?
it. Oh my God.
And she says at the Spring Awakening, Karen's party, she says that at this party, she could see from the side of her that Chris was staring at her. And shout out to the producers. They had countless times. One time they said Chris is not looking at Mia, literally. And then the second time said Chris is still not looking at Mia.
Yeah.
So Chris and Mia were responding to this to fans' questions on social media. One person says, on Bertha's biggest fan. On Bertha. She's amazing. She says, whatever, Mia Thornton got to add about Chris is a lie. The B word lies about everything. Why even keep her on the show? Sick of her getting away with all that damn lying. Mia responds, says, probably, I don't remember. Chris responds, not cool at all. Mia then says, nope, I felt stares for sure, but not in an inappropriate manner. Really, honestly felt insecure because I was so skinny, pale, and frail from being sick. Nothing but love and respect for you and Candy Gal. So sorry for even saying that.
She needs to go at this point. It used to be cute and funny, like her little, like mishaps. But now it's like this girl, she's got like no principles, no foundation, no integrity. Like you don't know anything. Like she's weird. She really is, to a point where it's like, you need to go. We need someone a little bit more well-adjusted here to take your place. After that, no, stop.
But that does fit what Kempire is saying about her, joining the Green Eyed Bandits. Like no principles, no integrity, no morals, no boundaries, no limits.
Too many people. We can't have that. It's too many.
Yeah, we need some authentic people. Yeah.
Literally before this live, I tweeted, I said, you know what? It was cute. The lying last season was really cute for a second.
Who said that? When did she say that?
Right.
It was cute for a hot second. But now we're talking about something very serious. Now you're corroborating what Gizelle is saying about how she felt uncomfortable. So Karen and Gizelle iterate what happened on the night of this reunion. But Chris also recaps what he thought happened, and he says that Gizelle was the one to say, "Let's go back to my hotel room."
Yeah.
So there is inconsistencies here. But who do you believe, Grace?
You know what? I feel like Gizelle is trying to get us caught up in the semantics. I think the only things that are important are that number one, he did not touch her. Number two, he did not say anything sexual or inappropriate. And number three, when she told him she felt uncomfortable, he left. You know what I mean? Like everything else is just fodder or details or whatever. But like he behaved himself in a respectable manner. He did nothing wrong to her. And so this shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I think that's the core thing for me.
Lailah?
I believe both of them in a way. I believe Chris when he says that Gizelle invited him to her room. Yeah, I do believe that. And I think Gizelle thought her glam cow was in there.
Yeah.
And I do think she felt uncomfortable. And it sounds like it was a short situation. She asked him to leave and he did. Nothing inappropriate happened. So I feel like I can see truth on both sides. But the fact that Gizelle is bringing it to camera as if it is something notable, you know what I mean? As if something happened when it didn't, that shows Gizelle's character.
Yeah.
I believe both.
I agree with that. I feel as if there definitely is truth here. And very much like what Karen says in her conversation with Gizelle is that you could have had this conversation off camera with him if you really felt uncomfortable. Because I think Karen really wanted to navigate this conversation because like we've been saying, I do think it's possible that maybe Gizelle has felt uncomfortable. But a lot of fans have been pointing out, well, you'd like to talk about his brown, you know what? Yeah. And you don't fail anytime you see him like, oh, Chris. So it does feel like she's trying to produce a moment, but I don't think she realizes what she's saying is very serious, especially right now with the whole Me Too movement and women coming out with their own stories. When you come out this way, does it take value away from what other women are saying? Because now you're putting this narrative out there as if it's just fodder for a storyline. It's very irresponsible.
It does. I think it does take value away. I think it does. And if I was Chris, when they showed Gizelle drawing that picture of his,
yeah, that was,
yeah, I would bring that. Like, I would almost make it like an issue. How she's making it an issue, I would make it an issue. Like, she drew my body parts. Like, I would make that an issue.
And he didn't. He hasn't. And I think Candiace was really blindsided, but I think a lot of us, even during our recaps, have said it's going to be one of you guys next. Right now, she's focused on one particular person. It's going to be your marriage next.
Yeah.
And now it's Candiace's time. Oof.
There's only one left, right? At this point, there's only G and Mia. She's already gone around to everybody. Robyn and Juan, they're not getting married. So the only ones left are G and Mia.
And I already think G and Mia have their own situation that could be revealed. So do you guys believe now that we've caught Mia in so many different lies, do you now even believe the whole story about the family pushing her out of the business? It's hard to believe anything she says.
Yeah, I would have to hear the full other side. You know what I mean?
Why haven't they spoken out?
I think they're having financial problems, and she's coming up with a narrative to explain them away. You know, it might have been their own doing, I think, most likely.
All right. Tamara, thank you so much for another super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Tamara says, when Mia said that story, I was done.
Same here. Just get out of here, girl.
It's very irresponsible. Crystal, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Brooklyn Star, thank you so much for the super chat. Brooklyn Star says, what's your opinion on Candiace's narrative of colorism on the show? All right, we can go there.
We got away from this season.
Right? I know. Look, we'll briefly talk about it because look, they have put it out there even before the season began. So we'll talk about it a little bit. Tamara, thank you so much for another super chat. She says it's disrespectful to the Me Too movement when you can't pinpoint what you are uncomfortable about. I don't know if I agree with that because I feel like there are plenty of women that felt uncomfortable, but it's hard for them to say what it was. It could have just been an energy. I don't think that takes away from someone feeling uncomfortable and they're not able to pinpoint exactly, oh, it's because you said this. Am I wrong? I'm just saying.
I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not. I have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very complicated.
Yeah. It just feels so reckless because it is fair if she did, and she did. She says she did. She felt uncomfortable. He respected her wishes and walked away. So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what's the moment? I think that's the thing that's unfair and taking away from everything. Like, what do you want people to do then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I want to go back to Brooklyn Star's question. She said, what's your opinion on Candiace's narrative of colorism on the show?
Okay, well, why are we saying okay. Is it just Candiace's narrative is my question?
Well, Wendy has brought it up too as well.
And is it a narrative? I don't know.
Well, then there's that. What are your thoughts? That's it.
I kind of got blown, like from last season. It's kind of like I've had so much, we've talked about it so much last season. I almost don't want to talk about it, but I will say this. I can say this. I hate to see on this show, you almost see the girls line up by color. Like you see Wendy, Candiace, and Skylar at the spring fling kind of on one side, and then Robyn, Gizelle, and Ashley on the other side. I don't like seeing it like that visual. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Grace?
I don't know. Honestly, this season, it's not something I've been picking up on, to be honest with you. As the season progresses, maybe that'll change, but it's not something I've been picking up on. The only thing I've noticed is that Robyn, and we talked about this early in the episode, but Robyn is a very aggressive housewife. I think she's one of the most aggressive housewives, like physically so. And even in the way that she kind of like tries, I don't know, like especially this episode, I feel like she really showed that she's like a true bully this episode. And like people don't really get into it. Like, what she did with the kids and stuff, to me, that's bullying. When she deliberately invites everyone excludes one person, especially when it comes to their children, to me, that's bullying. And when you get up in someone's face like, oh, you're going to fight them, that's bullying. It's intimidation. And I think she gets away with it a lot. I don't think that a dark-skinned woman her size, because she's not a dainty woman, but I feel like a dark-skinned woman her size, people would call it what it is. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I haven't really noticed too much this season.
And I wonder
if, point.
Go ahead.
And I just feel like, you're out of line when if someone matches your energy, there's a problem. And in that moment, if Dr. Wendy had matched Robyn's energy, it would have been a problem. You know what I mean? So I do agree that Robyn is very aggressive. Like I said, it's the third time we've seen her physically be aggressive to the other women, and she gets away with it. She gets away with it.
All right. I don't think they're going to necessarily address colorism during the season. And look, we'll have to wait and see. But I do believe it should come up during the reunion, because Dr. Wendy Acefo and Candiace did speak about it on social media before the season began. And I feel like we can't just brush over that. But like I've been saying, it's very hard to have someone like Andy Cohen, who's not really able to navigate those questions appropriately, be the moderator of those conversations. Just saying. But I've been saying that, and people think I want his job. I don't. I really don't. I really don't want that job.
Okay, you building your own empire.
Exactly. That's a tough job. I'll give it to Andy. Like, that's a tough job. I don't want it, especially in this Bravo universe. John, thank you so much for the super chat. John says, could Mia's money issue is due to the lavish spending on this show and the brothers saving the business from them? Could be that. Could be that. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat. Jay, for another super chat. Jay says, Candiace originally brought up Chris Brown's peen on the show. I do not feel sorry for Candiace because she indulged in all the other stories about affairs with Monique, Ashley, and Karen's husband. Okay, that's a valid point. Yeah. All right. Judgy Justice, thank you so much for another super chat. Judgy Justice says, Gizelle is half a century at her big age. Why are you going up to a bedroom with a married man, your quote friend's husband? And she said she's done this before. Okay. You activated this afternoon. I apologize. We are over an hour. But let me just say thank you. And then we can round out this conversation. Tony, thank you so much for the super chat. Tony says Candiace didn't have the same consideration for Ashley or Monique while they were pregnant. Okay. Valid points. And this is why I love hearing your opinions, guys, because it really, you remind us like, oh, wait, I forgot about that. Tamara, thank you so much for another super chat. Tamara says, yes, Grace, I agree with your bullying point. She tried it with Monique, and when she stood up in this episode, like what type of thing, I get you, Grace. All right. AMS, go. Thank you so much for the super chat. AMS says, Gizelle, I'll lie about your man for a storyline. Mia, hashtag me too. Come on. Wow, I was not expecting that part. All right. Wow. Okay. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly collab with Lailah Lynn and Grace Report. Every single week, we're recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac at 1 p.m. Eastern on our various channels. So be sure to subscribe to all of us and support us. Watch our videos, do all the things to support us, because we love Black content creators here. Yeah. Just saying. We see you, Diana Jenkins. Goodbye, Diana. All right. Before I let you ladies go, let's round out this conversation and how you're feeling. This is only episode 3, but the ratings for Potomac, they've been on a steady up, but I thought they would have came out swinging. Okay, Lailah, thoughts on the season so far and the ratings?
Well, because DMV is the closest franchise to me, I love Potomac. I love this particular franchise. So even though there are things about it I don't like obviously I don't like the colorism, I don't like the accusations, against Chris. I don't like false accusations at all. So those things I don't like. But other than that, I am entertained. I enjoy seeing this group of women. I'm entertained. Okay.
All right, Grace.
I think that this is a good season. I think this is a season that could really shift the way the show moves forward, especially with the way that Robyn is finally gaining her independence. There might be a split between her and Gizelle, which could kind of shake things up in a good way. I'm optimistic about this season. What about you, Kempire?
Well, they said apparently I'm in a good mood today because I must have eaten. Well, I had a shake before live, but I could eat something now. I feel like it's a good season so far. I'm having different opinions of Robyn. I told you I came into the season trying to have an open mind. I try to have an open mind regardless. But coming in, looking at these ladies in a different way. And I am feeling very differently towards a lot of the ladies. But a lot of you reminded me, don't forget, this one did this in this season. You guys have such great Bravo brains. I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot about that. I still want to know who the man was, Karen. And you know Andy's going to ask her at the reunion. Who was the man, Karen? And you know all the Bravo investigators are going to like, well, remember this and this or that. Everyone's immediately thinking G. But I'm telling you, 3 years ago, unless she just threw that number out there and she really meant maybe 2 years ago, then possibly G. It would make the most sense. But I have a feeling it's not G. But we shall see. We shall see. Ladies, as always, can you just update people on where they can find you, what's going on, and what people should be looking out for? We'll start with you, Grace.
I'm Grace Report on everything: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and just trucking along with the reality TV, pop culture news, and recaps.
Okay. And
yeah, Lailah. Well, actually, I was Lailah Lynn TV. Now I'm Lailah Lynn Media. Okay. So we switching it up a little bit, but just search Lailah Lynn on YouTube and Facebook, and you can also find me on Instagram, Lailah Lynn _. And I'm also doing celebrity news and reality TV.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for the super. Oh, damn!
Oh my God!
Wrong button. Sorry, y'all.
Okay. Tell me, Aaron, pay another $2 and tell me, how am I obsessed with colorism? Put your money where your mouth is right now and tell me how. I don't even want to talk about it, first of all, but tell me how I'm obsessing over colorism. And then also, if I am, I don't feel that I am, but if I am, is that bad? If I see colorism on a show and I want to address it as someone with a platform, is that bad?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. First of all, I didn't read that comment because I probably wouldn't have picked it up. So I apologize.
Oh,
and guys,
no need to apologize.
People, please be respectful of our guests. Always. You already know how I do when it comes to when we have people on my channel. Don't do it. I'm also trying to produce and host and do all the things. So I apologize for that, Lailah. But I agree. Look, someone asked a question about colorism and we are talking about it. I think at the end of the day, we have to talk about it. We can't avoid it. If it comes up as people ask us a question about it, we're going to talk about it. And it exists. We can't act as if it doesn't. And there are a large group of people that watch Potomac and feel the same way that Lailah does. So let's just keep that in mind as well. Belna, thank you so much for the super chat. Belna says, what did Candiace do to Mo and Ashley when they were pregnant? Are people forgetting how Ashley was aggressive and nasty and disrespectful for a few seasons? A lot of people are remembering. A lot of people are remembering. All right. I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank you so much, first of all.
Other $2? He didn't put his money out?
Oh, wait. Did he? No. Okay.
Keep watching. Keep your lights on.
Guys, we have almost 2,200 people in the building. Again, don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels. Don't forget to like the video. We haven't even hit 1,000 likes. Let's hit 1,000 likes before we end this live. Liking the video supports not just my channel, but other channels of people that look like me or are covering similar topics on their channel. So be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share the video because sharing is always caring. Belna, thank you so much for another super chat. She says, even Mo said Gizelle was the one who started the rumor. This is not looking good for Gizelle. But do you think they're really going to get rid of Gizelle?
No.
Not anytime soon.
All right. Well, Aaron has a comment. Says, I only have 50 characters, but I see your point. Okay.
I take it as an apology.
Me too.
I don't. Not until you say it. I don't.
Nope, I know that's right. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, Kempire.
Guys, don't forget, next week we will be on Grace Report's channel. So let's chuck it up all over there to Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. PST on there. Replay crew, always want to hear how you would rate the episode, where you're watching from, what you thought about all of what we talked about. Thank you to my guests, Grace Report and Lailah Lynn, for being here. Like the video. Oh, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes, guys. And if you're watching this, replay crew, like the video and check out all the things about Lailah Lynn and Grace Report in the description. Follow them on social media as well. Guys, we're going to get out of here and I will see you guys at 5:30 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. ladies, thank you so much for being here. I will see you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Let's get out of here.